Today is a review of this week's lessons. The first one, if you remember from earlier this week, was how to prepare for college, ways to get in college or that the colleges may require for you before entering, and when trying to decide where to attend, things that you should take in consideration. Hopefully by this week now you understand the importance of getting started in the ninth grade and not waiting to your senior year to try to get your averages up, your GPA, taking the ACT and the SAT, because you understand the more money that you get as far as scholarships and grants go, the less you have to pay for or take out student loans to do it. Remember, your GPA, or what's your official transcript when you get ready to graduate high school, starts in the ninth grade. It does not start your junior, sophomore, or senior year. It starts now, so you need to take your grades seriously. Because when you start applying for the grants and scholarships, that might be a requirement asking what your GPA was. Remember, get involved with several clubs or activities, and if you do so, remember to keep up a little folder, like a resume starting now, because when you get ready for your 11th or 12th grade year, applying on more scholarships and grants, it's going to be harder for you to remember. So that'll be an easy way for you to keep up with it. Remember that it's your job to find out when grants and scholarships are offered. The guidance counselor, yes, which in this case for your ninth grade year is Miss Mary. You can start applying on scholarships this year. So start listening, and again, there's almost 400 of you and one of her. So it is much easier for you to go in and say, Miss Mary, are there any scholarships offered at this time? And Miss Mary does an excellent job of keeping you informed. It's just you have to listen and pay attention. Remember, you do not need to wait till your senior year to start taking the ACT or the ACT. That you can actually start that at least your ACT in your sophomore year. Also, the PSAT is coming up, I believe, this October. Miss Mary will have more announcements for that. I highly recommend you taking that, as well as Miss Mary does. Remember, when you start applying for colleges, apply to as many as you would like. Don't limit yourself. Do your research on those schools. If you already know what you're wanting to be, try to find those schools that are have excellent programs in that career. Choose a couple of schools that are a stretch that you think there's no way I'm going to be able to get into that school, because you may surprise yourself, and do that. Also, some that are considered what I would say safety nets, that you know, hey, I can get into the school. Go ahead and apply for those. And then some that are in between. Again, apply to some that are local, because you may decide that you want to stay closer to Florence, and then some that are further away. But again, give yourself a variety and do not limit yourself. And just to remind you, if you think, is all this really worth it, you can definitely tell from here, the higher level of education you have, the more money you receive in life, and you're able to enjoy life a little bit more because you have the luxuries with the monetary benefits. Now you're going to watch two videos on how to pay for college or any, post-secondary education that you're going to receive and the avenues that you have. So listen up and pay careful attention, and this again will be the review for you for tomorrow's test.
Visualized. You've made the choice to go to school, but by now you've probably discovered it's more expensive than buying a soda. And education is still worth it, but here are 5 tips to help you pay for school. Tip number 1, be self-reliant. Paying for college starts before you actually become a student. One of the best ways to pay for school is through your own work. Get a job and save up early. Having a reservoir of funds available during school can really help smooth out the bumps in your journey. Tip number 2, prepare academically. Being a strong student can help you in 2 ways. 1, you'll be better prepared to handle college-level classes. And 2, you will be eligible to receive more scholarships, since most awards are given based on academic performance. Tip number 3, apply for scholarships. Scholarships come in all shapes and sizes. Research as many options as you can. Your high school counseling office, the internet, your parents' work, your community or state, or the college you plan to attend. All these are good options to investigate. Tip number 4, apply for federal aid. The government has a variety of ways you can receive financial aid. To apply, you'll need to fill out a free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA. By completing a FAFSA, you are automatically considered for a variety of aid options, including the federal Pell Grant, which does not need to be paid back. Tip number 5, avoid debt. Loans should be an absolute last resort in receiving financial aid. Often, being resourceful and working hard can eliminate your need to take out a loan. That being said, student loans can be a useful option if you find you really need them. Receiving an education can possibly be the most valuable thing you will ever do, but that doesn't mean that it has to cripple your finances. There you have it. We have some tips to give you a head start.
College debt can be uncomfortable, and it can drag you down even after you graduate. But you can be a smart borrower with a few simple strategies. So before you commit to shouldering a huge burden, take a load off and take the Wise Choice tour through the unfamiliar landscape of college loans. First off, It's no surprise that you might need a loan to help cover part of the cost of your education. College loans, unlike scholarships or grants, have to be paid back with interest, generally over 10 years. So it's wise to borrow only what you absolutely need, because the interest accrues. In other words, it grows and builds, and you will have to pay it back. There are two types of loans. The first type is a federal loan. To apply for any federal loans, you will first have to fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Federal loans should be your first stop on the loan tour. And let's find out why.
Among education loans, federal loans generally have the lowest interest rates, and the rate is fixed, which means it will not change. Federal loans also offer the best repayment options, saving you money in the long haul. Now, the most common federal education loan taken out by students is the Stafford loan. If you secure a Stafford loan but still have to fill in a cost gap, consider the Parent Plus loan next. Parent Plus loans are easier to secure than private education loans and have a fixed rate that's lower than most private loans. But, as the name suggests, a Parent Plus loan is in the parent's name. Still, whether it's the Stafford or Parent Plus loan, federal loans are the way to go if you need extra money for college.
Thanks for that great information about federal loans, but we still have to cover private loans. A word of caution here, interest rates are usually higher and variable, which means the rate changes, so you can easily get stuck paying a lot more in interest. You've arrived in the land of borrowers, where we gently remind you to take a look around and take care before committing yourself to any loan. But there's one direction you can count on about college loans. Only borrow what is necessary to get you through. In fact, keep track of how much your monthly payments will be after you graduate, to be sure you always know the amount of your accumulated debt. You can even visit our Plan and Pay section to access budgeting tools and calculate a customized payment plan. So take it slow, because the more you know about borrowing before you even enroll in college, the smarter your situation will be when you graduate.